Welcome, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ visionary. And today we're going to talk about desire and non-desire. I've been looking a bit more into Buddhism just the last couple days. I think I'd even mentioned on this channel that I'd looked into all of the major religions, and I'd found Buddhism wanting. But the fact of the matter is I don't think I had really looked at it as closely as I thought I might. For one thing, I don't think you can even really call it a religion. I don't know if it has a deity or anything like that. But I've been looking into it, and one of the things that that Buddha taught was that really the cause of suffering is it's not so much desire, it's attachment to desire, right? And as an INFJ, we definitely desire things, and I don't think there's any question about that. I do think that we have an ability to be a bit more abstract about things, a bit more removed from things, should we choose to be, and to the degree of near enlightenment, I would say. I do also believe that life or the universe put us here and invested us with desire, because life without desire would be pretty boring and pointless. If you watch the animal kingdom, which I do, I have the temple guardians here, and I watch them, and I watch the critters around me here where I live, and they have desire. Yeah, their desires are sort of basic, especially the wild critters. They want to find something to eat. But a lot of times the birds are going crazy right now. It's spring where I live, where the visionary is, and the birds are going crazy. They're just absolutely delighted. They're singing these beautiful, intricate songs, and they must desire to sing these songs. And I think that's as it should be, because obviously the world is better for the birds singing, right? And the same would go for the products of humans. Now, they're more varied, to say the least, but probably just as intrinsically valuable and important to the universe as the songs of birds, wouldn't you say? Here's the thing, though, whatever it is that you desire, in my case, like I've indicated before, I'm actually an artist. That's what I do for my livelihood, such as it is, and my desire is to create beautiful paintings, of which I've created many, many. But, the funny thing about that is it doesn't seem to matter how many I've made. After I've made them, I really don't care as much about them. I want to make some more. I want to make something. It's not even a matter of better, is it? It's just I want to keep on keeping on. And I do think that that's an appropriate desire, and I think it's appropriate within the context of my life. Now, I have had students that have these same desires, but for them, there's a lot of negativity involved. There's a lot of frustration, feeling of inadequacy, feeling of despair, all tied to something that they want to do, basically to improve their lives and improve the world. So it doesn't really, as I pointed out to them, it doesn't make sense when you're trying to create something uplifting, meaningful, or beautiful to exhibit any negativity at all. First of all, it will clearly taint the product, it's going to ruin it. You can't. It's like if you made someone dinner and you were all angry. That's not going to be a nice meal, right? Life doesn't work like that. So, But it's now I can speak with some authority about making art and paintings. I have been in the business world too, and manufacturing and stuff, and I got a good chance there to observe all sorts of people engaged in enterprise, in their various enterprises, and so many of them just they cross the line, and we all do. I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody specifically, but they they go from that place of the universe needing them to do something and be something in the world to being overly invested in outcomes. And this, of course, is the birth of suffering. So, for my part, first off, I will probably be talking a bit more about Buddhism because as I'm still listening to it. I'm listening to an audiobook, what the Buddha taught, which is based on his ground level teachings. And what I'm finding is that, like myself, he wasn't into believing stuff he didn't know was true. He would give you an example of something that caused suffering, and he would tell you how to alleviate it, and you could put it into practice in your own life. Now, I'm not that big on meditating. On the other hand, I think meditating is it's a problem for those of us in the West. We have this like automatic mind matrix with the thoughts going non-stop. But I have found as I am getting older that there is quite a lot of times where I'm content not to actually, maybe I'll start a thought but not finish it. And, thinking is overrated. It doesn't actually tend to solve many problems. And the motor mind is an epidemic in the West. I can't speak for the East, but I have been told that it's not as big a problem there. And so I'm not saying I'm going to take up meditation or anything, but some of you do meditate, and some of you believe in it. But, to me, the greatest way to advance spiritually is through insight. And if you think about it, there is such a thing as insight meditation, where you have an insight and you ponder it. And I think as INFJs, I think we're very, very good at that. We're very good at pondering. We're very good at throwing an idea sort of into the NI pond and watching the ripples go out and come back and go out and come back. And in the process of observing what happens with that idea, we get quite a good range of possibilities. And we have just a minute left here. I was watching Ren talk about the one of the second fantasies of INFJs, which is being a visionary, right? Being able to predict the future, right? It is a skill we have, and it is a fantasy we have, and it is part of. I am inclined to agree with him that I think our number one fantasy is one of what he calls repair, or just being understood, not misunderstood, because we have been and are so misunderstood. Maybe not by other INFJs, but by other people. They just don't get where we're coming from. And one of my sort of reservations with psychology and psychotherapy is that it really puts a lot of stock on childhood trauma. And trauma does have an effect on us, but is it the only thing operative? I don't know. Either way, I think it's good to want things. I think it's good to want something like enlightenment. And regarding enlightenment, we're almost out here, but I think enlightenment is a personal thing. You shouldn't be worried too much about what other people are doing in that regard. And if you are pursuing it, you do it so lightly and with a sense of good cheer. That's it for today. Keep on keeping on, INFJ.